trends and drivers in the biopharmaceutical industry today and emphasize some of the points that Dr. Galen mentioned in the prior session. It will come as no surprise to anyone in this room that today's pharmaceutical industry faces substantial challenges. As shown by Dr. Galen, research and development productivity, as measured by the number of new molecular entities approved per dollar of R&D spent, has continued to decline as the rate of new approvals continues to fall and the cost of drug development continues to increase. In fact, over the last 10 years, the number of new product approvals has fallen from a peak of more than 50 in 1996 to only 22 in 2006. During this same time period, the cost of research and development has more than doubled. Contributing to this decline in productivity is an increased focus on drug safety following the withdrawal of several high-profile products. Interestingly, though, while productivity is only 1/4 of what it was 1 decade ago, the market for pharmaceutical products has continued to grow. On this slide, you can see that while R&D productivity has declined, the risks of drug development have continued to increase, driven by the continued search for novel targets for which less is known, and therefore the risks are greater, as well as increasing regulatory hurdles. Several high-profile development failures, most notably torcetrapib and rimonabant, serve as expensive reminders of these daunting challenges. In fact, today, according to data from Damassi, only about 1 in 5 drugs or less that enter human testing actually reach market. And when you account for drugs from the discovery stage through to approval, the overall rate of decline is roughly 1 in 5,000, 1 in 10,000 products discovered actually make it to approval. As a result of these risks and the continued increase in research and development costs, in 2003, Damassi estimated that the total cost to bring a new product to market, including the cost of drug failures, exceeded $800 million. Costs have escalated on all aspects throughout the continuum of research and development. Today, that figure is estimated at $1 billion or beyond. Another factor touched upon in the earlier session that is complicating the outlook for the industry and creating additional challenges is a continued decline in market exclusivity for the market exclusivity period for new products. For example, in 1968, the first-in-class beta-blocking agent, propranolol, was brought to market. Propranolol enjoyed about 10 years of market exclusivity before the second-in-class product, metoprolol, reached the market. Turning the clock forward to 1999, the first COX-2 inhibitor was introduced, celecoxib. Less than 6 months later, the second-in-class product, rofecoxib, was introduced. This observed decline, shown in this figure, in exclusivity has been driven by significant improvements in drug discovery, which have allowed pharmaceutical companies to more rapidly develop next-in-class products. As mentioned earlier, the rising tide of patent expirations has further increased pressure on the industry. This data from PricewaterhouseCoopers shows that large pharmaceutical companies will lose between 14 and 41% of their current revenues as a result of patent expirations occurring between now and 2012. The ability to fill these gaps represents the #1 challenge in the pharmaceutical industry today. So if that wasn't enough, and in addition to declining R&D productivity, increasing risk, declining exclusivity, and patent expirations, we're now faced with the external pressure brought from an eroding global economy that places an even greater burden on the pharmaceutical industry. This slide reveals that total healthcare expenditures in the United States in 2007 rose at the slowest growth rate in 9 years. That's demonstrated at the top of the chart in yellow. The slowest growing area of healthcare expenditure is